Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy, and we are down at the beautiful Wingate in Ellicottville, New York. Great paper show over in the Chautauqua region, over in Mayville. It's about an hour drive from here. Came down last night. Absolutely the worst rain I have ever been in my entire life. We were on the thruway, New York State Thruway, going about 35 to 40 miles an hour. It lasted for about half an hour. It was terrible. You could not see hardly anything. A lot of road spray. It was coming down so fast with a ton of road spray. So it was kind of a frightening trip down. That being said, this year the GPS took us a different way than last year, which I'm actually very, very glad. Last year we took a lot of back roads down, and those would have been absolutely atrocious in the bad weather. So we're down here, supposed to be rain today, but it doesn't matter. It's an inside show today. Pretty excited. There's probably about 25 to 35 dealers, something or other like that. We're going to show you some pictures from inside, and we're going to show you the stuff that we haul at the back end as well. We're also going to have a little bonus. We're going to walk around Ellicottville with the camera, showing you this beautiful little town. It should almost be a travel channel over here. But absolutely beautiful town. If you're a skier, definitely do check it out. But even here in the off season, absolutely beautiful, great little town. Had a great dinner last night at the Ellicott Brewing Company. They do not sponsor us, but should they be interested. Really great food yesterday as well. So come on with us. We'll walk through Ellicottville. We're going to walk through the show, and we're going to show you all the treasures we got. Mrs. Papergoy here, we're doing the cinematography. Thank you. Also pointed out the beautiful view behind me with the mountains and the great fog. And that was actually a problem that we had last year when we came down. We are down in ski country, which means generally it tends to be real hilly. And last year when we went to the show, we ended up going over a whole bunch of different hills, and there was a lot of heavy fog. And that was one reason why I came down the night before last year, and I'm glad that I did this year as well. In fact, the weather forecast on the phone said foggy, and I think they're probably right. And it's kind of scary because, again, you're going up and down these hills, and you can't hardly see your hand in front of your face, which is a real problem because that's inside the car. But it's real dangerous going because we also don't know exactly where we are or where we're going, whereas the people behind us are going full speed because they know where they are, they know the turns, they know the twists. So it is a bit of a disconcerting drive over to Mayville. However, the show starts at 10. We're going to leave 8:30 to 8:45. It's about an hour trip. That'll give us plenty of time to get over there, so I'm not going to be sweating the time. Last year also there was a detour because the highway was partially closed. We ended up going through a bunch of small towns, ended up getting behind a horse and buggy for, I don't know if it was Amish or Mennonite. We were stuck behind a horse and buggy going 30 miles an hour as well. So it was a bit draining last year, but hopefully this year better planned out. Hopefully the highway is open. We'll be able to head on over and get a start. Hopefully some of that burns off as well. So we'll see you inside the show. And here we are inside the show. There actually was a line when we got there, and they did let people in early as well. So that was kind of a really nice thing on their part. Great show. A lot of dealers. Now what I ended up doing, we have Mrs. Papergoy doing the videography right over here. You see they got postcard dealers and more throughout. Is I ran right to the back corner because everybody kind of comes in and they kind of basically go straight when they come in. Those books I ended up buying, spoiler alert. You'll see them, or I'll talk about them there in the haul video afterwards as well. But a lot of dealers, and this was when it just opened, so there was a line when it got there. I did hear about 45 minutes after it got started, a lot of the dealers were saying, where is everybody? Did everybody come in? But there was indeed a steady stream of people throughout the day. One of the problems was it was a nice day, and we're down in a really nice like lake area. There's a handsome Papergoy walking around looking at stuff. Actually bought a couple of things from him as well. Kind of went back to them because I bought from them last year. And that's kind of ties into the other thing that I've mentioned in the past as well, that when you've dealt with somebody or other the first year, when you come back the next year, you kind of know which dealers to go for. Now, people like this, actually I did buy something from him. I was going to say people like that have the really expensive books, hard to buy for resale, but I did end up buying some stuff from him.
Some nice stuff over here. Nothing was priced. That was the problem with that table right there. They had a really nice animation cell from Disneyland, and then it was sitting out there like the common stuff, and I go, "How much is this?" She goes, $500. I'm like, "Oh," and then she grabbed it out of my hand and walked away, and I'm like, "That's not a good way to start a show." Oh, gee, what are you gonna do? Didn't end up buying it. She had no idea what it was worth. She started asking other dealers, and all of them are like, "I don't have any idea either," which makes me think, maybe you should know what you're going to sell your stuff for before you get to the show. Just saying. A lot of dealers over here all throughout. It is looks like would be basically a couple of conference rooms put together to accommodate this number of dealers. This is where Papergoy ran off to this top corner over here because the massive traffic was right over at the beginning. I ended up, spoiler alert, buying those newspapers as well. It's like Mrs. Papergoy was picking out all of the treasures that I'd end up buying. But you can definitely see where there is a fair amount of paper, and being a paper-only show does make it good for the paper dealers out there. I do have an interview coming up as well with the gentleman that put on the show and the good cause that it goes to. So definitely, if you are looking for a vacation, a business trip, you definitely could do a lot worse than coming to Mayville. He has the show every year at the same time, and it definitely is worth going to. And again, as you can see, kind of not a lot of people right there to start with, but it was steady all day long. I ended up leaving about 12 or 12:30, and there was steady traffic all day long. People coming in all throughout the day. A lot of dealers, as I said there, and a lot of interesting paper throughout. So we're going to take another quick walk through. You see they got the books all stacked up. The one that got me was there was a library was de-accessorizing a lot of their books, or whatever the word is. They're no longer keeping the books around. And they had it where you could make a donation. And those are always tough because you end up paying more money when you're making a donation, or at least I do, than you do if they just priced them. I'm thinking to myself, just price them. But I guess you could have offered them almost nothing and walked away because they did want the books gone. There I am right there soliciting the owner of the place, asking them, hey, look, we're going to have an interview. So a little sneak preview. I'm convincing them, yeah, it'll be good to come on and do the interview. Spoiler alert, it ended up working. So there he's agreeing to it. We're working out the backstage on that. Nice circus posters right over there. The LBJ. It's an election year, so you're definitely going to want to sell stuff like that as well. Mrs. Papergoy is just infatuated with me, which is a positive sign. As we just keep panning through, and again, you can see the customers have not made it that far yet. It looks like there's not a lot, but there actually are. It's pretty well spread out, and again, there was the line at the front as well. We were about 25th person in line, I would guess, and we got there about 9:55 or thereabouts, something other like that. And then what they have up front, as you can see here as well, those are the videos that show, it's all for the Jamestown Trolley Association. He puts the show on every single year to raise funds for that. And they've got the nice little videos up front that kind of explain the history of the trolley system and trains and all that over in Jamestown. And you can sit down and you can watch that as well. And it all goes to a good cause as well. So it's educational as well. And you do tend to see the same dealers year after year, which is definitely a positive, as the promoter did mention as well. So definitely, if you are looking for a show to set up at, lots of great spots are available. I did see people spending money, which is really what it comes down to. Tends to be an older clientele. Tends to be people that have some disposable income. So, in fact, I did see one gentleman come in, and he did have a Bible from the 1600s, I believe it was, for sale. And he was asking the promoter, hey, who would be the best person to sell this to? Might have been a 1500. So some old stuff does walk in the door as well. Would be a buying opportunity for you as well if you're a dealer. The other advantage is, of course, if you're a dealer, you can come in the day before if they set up, or if they set up that morning. You of course, can come and pick the tables beforehand, which is the little secret. So much at all the various shows, so much dealing goes on right before the show starts, especially if you get into the circuit. Then you have the situation where, oh, beautiful chandelier, situation where various dealers know what it is that you're interested in, and they'll bring things specifically for you show after show after show. Like, hey, I got some of these, I know you deal in these. So Mrs. Papergoy wants to watch the entire video right over there. I'm sure it's all copyrighted, so hopefully we don't get a strike for that. We did get the permission, of course, to film at the show. I wanted to make sure about that as well. So nice show, and you'll see at the end what I ended up getting. It's been a while since I was there, so I forget what I spent. Several $100s I know I ended up spending at the show. But a lot of history right over there. There you are. We'll just let this play out for another 30 seconds or so. And you'll see some wheeling dealing going on in the background. And you also see a lot of the customers do tend to be a little bit older. No kids running through there, which is a positive thing as far as I'm concerned when I'm talking absolute kids, because 5 to 7 year old kids and old paper don't mix together very well, especially if they're the grabby kind. So luckily you didn't have any of that at all. And if you do bring your kids to a show or grandchildren to a show, definitely important to teach them not to grab, not to rip, not to tear, not to have dirty fingers when they touch old paper either. A lot of value in the old paper, but we also have to get the young ones into the hobby. So, yep, that's what it's going for. That's the good cause it's going for right there. Jamestown Street Railway. Trolley car number 93 restoration project. So they're working on bringing that on back. And again, he'll talk about it a little bit as well at the interview. And just a little bit more here from the show. All of the various postcard dealers. That dealer right there actually gives good deals. I spent a fair amount of money with him as well. And there Papergoy is, looking for some old magazines. And we are here with the head of the Book and Paper Show. Why don't you introduce yourself? Oh, there you are.
My name is Bob Johnson. I'm the chairman of the Vintage Book, Paper, and Collectibles Show and Sale at the Chautauqua Suites this year. And we do it every year, first Saturday of August. And it's a benefit for the Jamestown Street Railway Trolley Car number 93 Restoration Project. The proceeds from the show go to maintaining and hopefully someday building a home for the early trolley car.
How many dealers are there roughly?
We managed to get over 40 dealers this year. Every year I wonder, because some of them are getting kind of old, and they one of the guys actually fell just before the show, so he had to cancel. But we just keep plugging away. What we really need is younger buyers, people that are interested in collecting and looking at this stuff. Once a few people get in here, and the other day we had a video gamer come in here.
Oh, wow.
He was sort of dragging. He helped load and unload some of the stuff with one of the people that were, and he started seeing some of the graphic, the different types of things that were made, and so that's neat stuff. And so a new convert, I guess, is what we would call it.
That is awesome. And how many years has this been going on?
Well, it started quite a few years ago. It was associated with one of the organizations in Westfield, Jack Erickson and John Wolf, that set it up, and they were getting a little disillusioned with it because they were having trouble finding dealers and stuff, and I had some experience with that. So I took over the show and managed to build it up to where we are today. It was a good move for us to come to Chautauqua Suites. They've been really nice to us. It's a great venue, and they're very accommodating. So I recommend them to anybody needing to put on a show.
Yeah, and it's absolutely great, beautiful area down over here. Mrs. Papergoy and I, we stay over at Ellicottville and drive over in the morning. It's just a great town there. This is a great town over here. We're going to find a nice place to lunch out here.
Right.
Just unbelievable location, unbelievable stuff in there. And you've got a table in there yourself?
Yeah, I bring stuff I just soon get rid of and not take home, and that's all I say to people. They get interested and they like it, and we're all happy at the end of the day. That's what I know. So.
Well, I will say last year was my first year down here, and I came back this year, and I told a couple of other people who have come, and I know other people will be coming next year as well. They just didn't know about it in time this year, but they will next year. You're very, very easy to deal with. You probably don't remember what you sold me last year, but you had a bunch of older magazines, and you gave me a deal on the magazines, and then I said, what if I take the rest of the scraps? Because they were incomplete magazines, and you gave me a really good deal, and I hauled out, I think, 3 or 4 boxes of scraps of magazines, and ended up making a few dollars off them, so it was good for you, good for me.
And that's why I brought a whole pile of original auto advertisements from the magazines, thinking the same guy would show up and buy again, but he apparently is not interested. Instead, he makes me do this video. So anyhow, but that's
we'll talk.
It's been a fun hobby, and people seem to be very happy. To me, the biggest thing for us is the advertising, getting the word out. And every year we struggle trying to get more and more people to come, but fewer and fewer people are interested in some of this stuff. So it's sort of a give and take, but we keep plugging away, and hopefully we can keep making a go of it.
So what I'll do is I'll put down below, I'll put a link with his information. If you're interested in setting up next year, or just interested in shopping next year, I'll certainly reach out to him. He answered the email that I asked him. He answered it within, I think, 20 minutes, I believe. So I want to thank you for your time.
All right.
And everybody come on out. It's an unbelievable show.
I do have a Facebook page in case you want to look for that. It's just, let's see.
They only let you out once a year. That's
CR Books. It stands for Chautauqua Region Book Sale. So check it out, and maybe I'm not much on Facebook, but you never know.
You always reach out, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Take it easy.
Okay, and we are back. $756 lighter in the wallet. What did we buy, you ask? I'm going to show you a few of the highlights. First thing I actually bought when I was there, gentleman had this, about 80 cards, I would guess, close to 100 cards. All Charlie's Angels, not in great shape overall. I mean, VG plus overall. And I actually need some of these for myself. And I said, how much are these? And he goes, $5. Well, when you're paying 6 cents a piece for Charlie's Angels cards, and they're higher number series, you can't go wrong. So happy with that deal right over there. First, when I went to, I did the thing. There was actually a line of people there when we first got there, and luckily they let people in a little bit before 10 o'clock when it was supposed to open. And I kind of, instead of following the crowd, I just sprinted to the far corner. Is what I did, stopping at that table first and then starting in a far corner, figuring that stuff's only going to be picked by dealers, and working my way back. Did pick this up over here, 34 charms for $10, and ended up buying some other stuff, so I got a deal on it. I don't even know what actually is in here. I did see a Mr. Peanut and a few other things. I just know at that price, that one right there will sell by itself, I'm sure, and whatnot with the dog. I'm sure this over here will sell as well. So to buy this entire box here for $10, and I actually got a little bit of a discount, cannot go wrong on that. I mean, you're 30 cents a piece into them just to start with before the discount. One of the local libraries, I think the Bemis Point Library, had a table with books, and it was make a donation. That always is tough because you don't know exactly whatever to donate. You probably end up giving more than you would if you're buying from a dealer. But it was fairly good stuff. I couldn't complain. I think I ended up buying 6 or 7 books from them. One of the books I got, which I thought was interesting. Now they said it's common, but it sells for $10. They are wrong. It is the official story of the war with Spain, which indeed is a common book. However, this is a salesman's sample, which actually goes for a fair amount more. And you can tell it's a salesman's sample because the page numbering, like this over here is page 234, and then this is page 434. That's not 200 pages, and obviously you can tell by the binding nothing is missing. So if you find something like this, books like this, a salesman would have actually gone door to door and tried to get you to buy this. This is an example of what the books looks like, and then when the actual one was published, they would have brought the actual one to you. So this is a salesman sample. They do go for more than the regular books because obviously they're much rarer. Another book that I picked up from them, not in the greatest of shape, front board is split from the binding, but it's a book about the Titanic in 1912, German language. Now they put a little note on here that it sells, people are asking from $10 to $100 on it. it's a bit of a swing. I'm definitely going to be asking closer to 100 because how many of them can possibly be out there? German language 1912 books of the Titanic. A few other things I bought here. Gentleman had a big pile of these. These are actually good when you see them. The Enthusiast Harley Davidson. I made my first round, and then I said, you know something, nothing hurt to ask what the guy has or what he wants. I said, what are you getting on the Harley Davidson? He goes, $10 a piece. I go, okay, that's fair. He says, I can give you a better price if you buy them all, or if you make a pile. I said, well, what if my pile is all of them? And he goes, like he never thought he could sell all of them. He goes, how many are there? And I said, you got another customer, I'll count them. I counted them up and there were 70 of them. I'm thinking in my head, I'd like to pay 500 or a little less. I think it leaves you some room to make money because these do sell very, very well. He came up and I said, there's 70 of them. He goes, how's 350? I said, I can do that. You left some meat on the bone for me. Thank you. So do look for these. These are from the 40s and 50s. A lot of them are from the 40s though. They will sell definitely. Nice magazine to have. Easy turnaround on those. The gentleman that I bought the trinkets from also had this, which he ended up working a deal out. He told me that he wanted 25 on this. He had another item he wanted 25 on. They were both in the same bin. He goes, whatever, you want the other item? How about 15 for both of them? I said, certainly. 1895 Central Park, put out by the Parks Department. I've never seen anything like this whatsoever. Earlier New York City stuff. That could be a really, really good piece. Good luck finding another one of those out there. This gentleman or person had things for $0.25 a piece, and I don't do very much with stamps, first day covers and the like. However, I did buy everything Kennedy, RFK, JFK, because I do have a customer who buys things like this for me over on Whatnot. So paying $0.25, selling them for $3, I'm not getting rich, but I did pick up a bunch of new Kennedy stuff for my customer, and I'll make some money, so I can't complain about that. Last few items over here. This was actually on the free table, and some dealer just had an absolute free table, and I picked a few items up off of it. Doesn't fly off the shelf, American Review of Reviews, but it's got Tammany Hall, and a couple of the other ones we're talking about the Philippines as well, both of which sell. So, and great ads as well. So for free, there's money to be made at free. Peterson's magazine. They wanted $5. It was half price, $2.50. Nice magazine. Do definitely look, which I did. The first few pages are often missing on these. There'll be things like fancy work and things like that. They were in here, so I could buy this. It's from 1888. Nice magazine from 1888 right there. Time magazine, they wanted 10, half price 5. Man of the Year, definitely do look for Man of the Year items, and I've never seen this issue before, Martin Luther King Jr. There was another Martin Luther King Jr. time I bought as well. Not that easy to find. I've never had this magazine in all the years that I've been doing this, and people do collect the Man of the Year. Do look them up. Some of those are crazy high prices. Last few items over here. Doesn't look like much. The guy wanted $3 on it, and he actually cut the price because I bought a bunch of other stuff from him. Child Life magazine. But look at this inside. Halloween. Nice item right over there with Halloween. It will be showing up in a future Whatnot auction for my holiday auction. You never know, the kids' magazines, obviously the Halloween covers sell. That's going to sell as well. Same gentleman had a big pile of these. I had talked with him for a little while, and he said, I can make you a deal on Science News. I'm like, he goes, I want $1 a piece. I'm like, yeah, where am I going? He goes, or you can buy the entire box for $20. That got my patented I hate you, which got him laughing. There were probably 100 of these in there. I don't know exactly what I bought, but I'm going to go through them, and the ones with really cool covers I'm going to put over on Whatnot at $3. I did see at least one with a blimp cover, other covers like that. Certainly can't lose money at that, and I'll tell you about him in 2 seconds. Guy had these at $3 a piece, $17.35. Prints for $17.35, 29 of them. I said, what can you do if I took all of them? He goes, how's $50? I said, sounds good. Just beautiful from $17.35. That's going on almost 300 years old. Just beautiful stuff. And I know if you're not on the East Coast, you're saying, how do you find stuff from 300 years old? Stuff's out here. And the last thing I wanted to show you, gentleman had this priced at $10. Big deal. Except you look on the back here. I'm not going to check when I'm at the table, but I do believe that's signed because it came from a signing of Scavella. Could be a really, really good piece if that indeed is a signature. Even if it's not, I'm not going to lose money because I bought a pile of stuff and he cut the price as well. Final thing I wanted to tell you, I ran out of business cards. I brought a fair number. I ended up passing them out to so many different people. I ran out of business cards. One gentleman, the guy that ended up selling me all the science news, said, "How'd you like to buy some books?" I go, "Nope, not really." He goes, "Come on, you want to buy books?" I said, No, I really don't." He said, "Yeah, you do." He had 7 sets of books from the early 1900s, like 9 books, Stoddard's lectures, or 10 in that set, 12 in this other set, 12 in this other set. He goes, "Buy all these sets, that set, this set, blah, 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 $20. People are killing me out there. Absolute perfect stuff for Whatnot. I've sold sets like that on Whatnot before. On eBay, they're $40, $50 a set for a lot of those. Whatnot, they go for 12 to 15. I'm into them right. I'm into them for 20 for all of them. If I get 10 bucks a set out of them, that's $70 to $80 right there alone. So happy to get those in the house and get those out of the house. I'm going to be selling those sometime soon. So if you like early 1900s book sets, come on by to a future Whatnot auction. So that's what we ended up picking today. Great deal. Left and right. Pass a business card out. Very, very happy with the trip. So we will see you next video. And here we are in beautiful Ellicottville. Little bonus video here at the end. It's a cute little town, and there you see all of the various signs up for all the various places. We ended up eating over at the, I love that there, hold on, Mud, Sweat, and Gears. Get it? See what they did there? We ended up eating over at the Ellicottville Brewery. They're not a sponsor, but should they wish to be. It really is a quaint little town, absolutely beautiful, great little ski town. So if you are a skier, you definitely want to check out Ellicottville. But they really do maintain Main Street. They do know that tourists are the lifeblood of the town. If you take a look around there at real estate, we were just taking a look. In fact, you'll see on the when we cross the street, there is actually a realtor's office that has all the houses up for sale, and you're talking some beaucoup bucks if you want something or other down here in the village or over in the right over near the ski slope. You're talking some serious money. That being said, if you got some extra coin hanging around from doing all your buying and selling and reselling, wouldn't be bad to do for a little bit of an Airbnb. And there you are. You see all the ski information. You see somebody's fat finger that doesn't know what he's doing. But again, you can, as you walk along the little town here, a lot of great places to eat. You can eat outdoors. We're going to cross the street in a moment. You're going to go to a coffee store. Look at that. There's a nice coffee shop there across the street. Had a very, very good coffee. You can sit in the window. They've got the little town square down there as well. Just a nice little town. Tops never mops. Look at their floors. You just kind of go around. You can just definitely walk the town. That was the beautiful Mrs. Papergoy you all recognize right over there as well. This I thought was really, really neat. They make almost like a Christmas tree here out of old skis. Like I said, because it is a ski town. I thought that was a pretty neat little thing there as well. You can go and check all of that out also. There they are, all the old skis. Luckily, there are no legs still attached. That it would be a positive. And here we are again across the street, and somebody doesn't know how to get their fat finger out of the way. This is why I let Mrs. Papergoy do most of the filming, and why I don't do much of it myself. Heading on down, like I said, just a cute, quaint little town. They have the brewery. They have a really nice wine shop. They've got 5 or 6, maybe 7, 8 restaurants. You got the ice cream shop there. Just some great things. Some clothing shops. I know they have a shop there that does Carhartt and much more. So if you're looking for a nice vacation, definitely do come down to the Mayville show. Stay over in Ellicottville. It is a little pricey at the hotel because there literally is just one hotel in town. Or you could buy one of those nice houses and then let Papergoy sleep on your couch. Nothing wrong with that either. But definitely worth the trip on down. 12 Gates of Evil. I don't like the sounds of that. And you'll be able to, of course, expense it as a business trip because it will be. You'll find some nice stuff there at the paper show. You'll be basically helping out a good cause and being able to buy some things. You'll be adventure bound, as a matter of fact. I read that somewhere. And we're just going to continue walking along Main Street. Like I said, it's about 3 blocks each way, and then a couple of things off the block. And there is the beautiful Mrs. Papergoy walking along as well. Just nice. Yeah, something for everybody, too. They got a Mexican place. They have an Italian place. They've got the brewery, 2 or 3 other restaurants also, just for this small town. And then they also do a Taste of Ellicottville where they all offer out their various types of food, too. I believe that's the week after the show. So if you want to stay around, you can. Carhartt. So hopefully you enjoyed Ellicottville there. They are not a sponsor, but should they wish to be, we are more than willing. We can join their tourist board here. And then this was on the way up to the Thousand Islands show. This, I made a mistake. I had mentioned that the worst driving I ever had was on the way down to the Mayville show. I was wrong. This is the worst driving I've ever had. It was like this for about 2 hours. However, this is what we came up to. The beautiful Thousand Islands. Definitely well worth it if you've never been up to the Thousand Islands. Absolutely beautiful. This was the view from our breakfast table. Isn't that great? And there's, oh, well, maybe I was wrong. Oh, that is the breakfast table. There we are, waiting for our food. And the beautiful Mrs. Papergoy. And my big fat hand. And you see my beautiful shadow as well as we kind of walk along off into the distance there. You walk along that off onto a floating pier, which actually I do not have my sea legs, so when I walked out on the floating pier, it was not nice. Mrs. Papergoy laughed and laughed. See, she comes from a country called the Philippines, where they actually are seaworthy. I'm a landlubber. But come on by. You're definitely going to enjoy this stuff. Great view. And there's that pier.